One of the biggest shocks seniors face after moving into a nursing home is the quiet but powerful loss of independence, a loss many never fully expect until they experience it. Before moving in, the promise sounds comforting. You won't have to worry about cooking, cleaning, or managing anything alone anymore. But what many don't realize is that along with those responsibilities, they also lose daily control over their own life. Suddenly, simple choices like when to wake up, when to eat, what to eat, when to shower, or even when to step outside are no longer completely theirs. These decisions are usually controlled by the staff schedule, not the resident's personal preference. What used to be natural freedom slowly turns into a systemized routine that feels more like following orders than living life. Many seniors say the hardest part is not the medical care or the food, it's the feeling that they're no longer in charge of themselves. At home, even with physical limitations, they could still decide if they wanted tea or coffee, stay in bed a little longer, water their garden, talk to neighbors, or go for a short walk whenever they chose. In a nursing home, those small moments of self-direction disappear, and that's when the emotional impact begins. The loss of independence isn't always dramatic. It comes slowly, quietly, and often without discussion. You start asking permission for things you once did freely. You wait for help instead of making decisions. You live by someone else's clock. And over time, a person who once felt capable, respected, and self-guided can begin to feel powerless, dependent, and invisible. What makes this truth even harder is that many seniors don't realize they're losing independence until it's already gone. And getting it back isn't as simple as deciding to go home. Health changes, financial contracts, and emotional adjustment make returning to independent living extremely difficult. That's why this truth is so important. Moving into a nursing home isn't just a change of address, it's a change of identity. Before making the decision, seniors and families must ask, is the help worth the freedom we're giving up? Because once independence is surrendered, it rarely returns in full. For many, that's the real regret, not the nursing home itself, but the unexpected cost of freedom they never knew they were trading. One of the biggest misconceptions about nursing homes is the belief that being surrounded by people means you won't feel lonely. Families often think, at least mom won't be alone anymore. There will be other seniors, group activities, and staff around her all day. But the reality many residents face is far different. Loneliness can follow you into a crowded place when real connection is missing. Yes, there are people everywhere, but that doesn't mean there is meaningful conversation, emotional bonding, or genuine companionship. Many seniors sit in common rooms with others, yet no one speaks. Some are too weak, some are lost in memory decline, and some simply don't share the same interests or energy. It's possible to be physically surrounded, but emotionally isolated. Loneliness in nursing homes is not just about being alone, it's about feeling unseen, unheard, and disconnected. Staff members may be kind, but they are busy. Their time is spent on tasks, not on deep conversations or personal bonding. Other residents may be friendly, but that doesn't guarantee true friendship. And the sad truth is, many seniors end up spending more time watching TV, lying in bed, or staring out a window than actually living life with others. What hurts even more is the emotional gap between residents and their own families. Those visits they imagined, every weekend, every holiday, every joyful moment, often become less frequent over time. Life gets busy, schedules change, and the nursing home becomes the place where mom is, not the place family gathers. A senior may wait all week for a visit that lasts 30 minutes. Loneliness in nursing homes is silent. It doesn't look dramatic, but it can break the spirit slowly, leading to depression, loss of motivation, and even faster decline in health. Human beings don't just need food and medicine. They need purpose, laughter, interaction, and the feeling of still mattering. That's why this truth is so painful. Nursing homes can provide care, but they can't guarantee connection. Unless there's effort from family, staff, and the resident themselves, loneliness can become the daily reality, even in a place designed for social living. When seniors picture life in a nursing home, many imagine a peaceful, well-organized environment where help is always available. But what they don't realize is that organized often means controlled. Life in a nursing home runs on a schedule, and that schedule isn't designed around you, it's designed around the system. Meals are served at fixed times, medication is given on a routine, lights go out at a certain hour, and even activities are pre-planned whether you like them or not. At first, this structure may seem helpful, especially for those who struggled with daily tasks at home. But over time, it can start to feel like you're living by someone else's clock, not your own. The real problem begins when personal choice is replaced by procedure. You don't decide when to have breakfast, you're told when breakfast is. You don't choose when to bathe, you wait until staff is free. Even simple things like wanting tea instead of juice or sleeping in on a rainy morning can turn into a request that may or may not be approved. Slowly, a senior who once lived life freely begins to feel like they're in a hospital where life is managed, not lived. The routines that were meant to provide stability can instead take away identity, preference, and individuality. And the sad truth: the staff isn't the enemy. They're often overworked, caring for many residents at once. So the system is built to make life easier for them, not necessarily for the people living inside it. One schedule for many people, even if it means nobody's day truly feels like their own. That's when the emotional shift happens. Seniors stop feeling like adults making their own choices, and start feeling like patients waiting for instructions. They follow rules instead of following their mood. They live in time slots instead of moments. And little by little, the person they were, independent, expressive, spontaneous, begins to fade. This is why so many seniors say, "It doesn't feel like my life anymore. It feels like I'm just existing inside someone else's plan." Before moving into a nursing home, ask this question honestly. When families choose a nursing home, the biggest concern is usually physical care, medication management, medical supervision, safety, hygiene, and daily assistance. And yes, most nursing homes are built to handle those needs well. But what many people don't realize until it's too late is that emotional care is not treated with the same priority, even though it's just as important for a senior's well-being. A senior is not just a body that needs food, medicine, and mobility support. They are a human being with memories, fears, dreams, dignity, and deep emotional layers. Yet in most nursing homes, the emotional side of life becomes quiet, unacknowledged, or rushed. Staff are trained to assist, not to connect. They are there to keep you alive, not necessarily to keep you fulfilled. Many seniors report feeling invisible, like they are just one more name on a chart. Someone comes in to check blood pressure, but doesn't notice the sadness in their eyes. Meals are delivered, but no one sits to ask, "How are you really feeling today?" Birthdays are noted, but not celebrated with love. The heart gets ignored while the body receives care. And that neglect can hurt more than any medical condition. Loneliness turns into emotional numbness. A once proud person feels like a burden. A once strong personality becomes quiet, withdrawn, and forgotten. No one asks about their life stories, personal preferences, or inner struggles, because there is no time and no system designed for emotional nourishment. Even activities that are meant to keep seniors happy often feel forced or generic. Bingo, puzzle time, TV hours, instead of something truly personal, meaningful, or expressive. A senior who loved music, gardening, teaching, or storytelling may never get the chance to live those passions again. That is the heartbreaking truth. In many nursing homes, your emotional identity slowly fades because no one is feeding it. You are cared for, but not understood. You are looked at, but not seen. And emotional neglect doesn't just affect the heart, it affects health too. Studies show that seniors who feel emotionally unsupported decline faster, lose appetite, lose motivation, and even lose the will to live. So before deciding on a nursing home, ask, who will care for the person inside me, not just the body I live in? Because a life without emotional connection isn't living, it's only surviving. Before moving into a nursing home, most seniors picture a comforting reality. My family will visit often. The kids will come every weekend. Grandchildren will bring laughter. I won't feel forgotten. But the painful truth many discover later is this: the idea of frequent family visits is often more fantasy than reality. In the beginning, yes, the visits come. People call, show concern, bring flowers, talk about how they'll always be there. But as weeks turn into months and life goes on outside the nursing home, something changes. Schedules get tight, work gets busier, kids grow older, plans get postponed, and slowly, the promised, regular visits start getting replaced by quick phone calls or excuses like, "We'll come next Sunday, okay." What hurts even more is that seniors notice it. Every missed visit, every short stay, every quiet holiday. They don't complain, but they feel it. They count the days waiting for a familiar face. They sit by the window hoping to see a car that doesn't arrive. They keep their best clothes ready for a visit that never happens. And the silence becomes louder than loneliness. Families don't always mean to neglect. Sometimes it happens unintentionally. But for the senior inside that room, intentions don't matter, the absence does. Birthdays are missed, special moments pass, and the person who was once the center of the family's world becomes someone they fit in when they can. Some seniors even begin to pretend they don't mind. They say, "Oh, don't worry, I'm fine," just to make it easier for the family, but inside, it hurts deeply. Because what they need is not gifts, not money, not a quick hello, they need presence. Time, real connection, a feeling that they still matter. The worst part, by the time they realize how rare family visits really are, they're already living in the nursing home and can't go back. They gave up their home thinking they'd gain more family time, but instead, they ended up with more waiting time. That's why this truth is so important. Before choosing a nursing home, don't ask, "Will my family visit?" Ask, "Will they visit consistently, even when life gets busy?" Because in the end, it's not the nursing home that breaks the heart. It's the empty chair that was supposed to be filled. One of the biggest surprises seniors face after moving into a nursing home is this emotional contradiction. You are constantly cared for, yet you don't actually feel cared about. On paper, everything looks perfect. You get your meals on time, your medicines are managed, your bed is made, your vitals are checked. But what's missing is the human warmth behind the care. In most nursing homes, care becomes a process, not a relationship. Staff members are trained to treat tasks, not people. They come in with charts, schedules, gloves, and urgency, not stories, smiles, or meaningful conversation. They are not heartless. They are simply overworked, understaffed, and expected to move fast. So their care becomes functional, not emotional. They make sure you're clean, but don't notice if you cried last night. They help you walk, but don't ask how you feel walking away from your old life. They bring food, but don't sit long enough to hear whether you even like it. You are looked after, but not looked into. And that emptiness hits harder than most people expect. Because care without connection feels like mechanical kindness. You become part of a routine, a name on the shift list, a room number, a medication time slot. No one asks what your favorite song is, what you miss most, what your dreams once were, or what still brings you joy. You're safe, but not seen. Some seniors describe this feeling as being alive, but not living. You have everything you need, except the one thing you long for, genuine human concern. Not a nurse doing her duty, but a person who cares because you matter. And this is where the regret begins. Before moving in, seniors often believe, I'll be surrounded by people who will take care of me. But once inside, many realize, being medically cared for is not the same as being emotionally valued. The truth is, humans don't survive on medicine alone. We survive on love, attention, and being known. Without that, even perfect care feels empty. So before choosing a nursing home, ask yourself honestly, do I want a place where people do things for me, or a life where people care about me? Because the greatest pain is not lack of care. It's being cared for, but not cared about. One of the most unexpected, and most painful, realities of life in a nursing home is how quickly your personal choices stop being your choices. The freedom you once had to decide how to live, what to do, what to eat, what to wear, and how to spend your day slowly shifts into decisions made for you, not by you. At home, even with physical limitations, you still had control over simple things. Want to have breakfast at 11 instead of 8? You could. Want to watch TV late at night? No problem. Want to eat something different than what others are eating? You could choose. Want to decorate your room your own way? You had the space and freedom. But in a nursing home, choice turns into permission. You don't decide, you request. You don't choose, you wait for approval. The system is built for efficiency, not individuality. So instead of life being shaped around your preferences, you are expected to adjust to the facility's rules, schedules, and limitations. You may hear phrases like, "Sorry, meals are already prepared. That's not allowed for safety reasons. We don't have staff available for that right now. Maybe you can do that tomorrow, if the activity team approves." Suddenly, your life becomes a policy. And this shift doesn't happen all at once. It happens quietly, rule by rule, routine by routine, until one day you realize you're not living a personal life anymore, you're living an institutional life. Even your identity changes. You stop being Mrs. Aisha, who loves poetry, and start being Room 12. Diabetic, needs assistance. You are categorized, managed, and standardized. Not because people are cruel, but because the system is designed to keep order, not preserve individuality. And when you lose the power to make choices, even small ones, you lose a part of who you are. Choice is dignity. Choice is freedom. Choice is a reminder that your life still belongs to you. That's why many seniors regret moving into a nursing home, not because they dislike the place, but because they no longer feel like themselves inside it. So before making the decision, ask one vital question. Are you ready to trade comfort for control, and care for freedom? Because once your life runs on a system, your voice becomes the first thing to go silent. When seniors agree to move into a nursing home, the decision often feels temporary, a safe step, a needed break, or a just for now solution. But what many don't realize is that moving in is usually a one-way door. Getting in is easy, but getting your old life back is painfully difficult, and sometimes impossible. At first, it feels like a practical choice. You tell yourself, I'll stay here until I get stronger. Family says, you can come home anytime after things stabilize. But slowly, life outside the nursing home keeps moving, while your life inside starts standing still. Here's the truth few people say out loud. Once you give up your home, your routine, your responsibilities, your independence, and your community, you can't just walk back into them the same way. Why? Because by the time you want to return, your house may have been sold or rented out. Your health may have declined more than expected. Your confidence to live alone may be gone. Your savings may now be tied to monthly nursing home payments. Your family may have adjusted to you being taken care of somewhere else. In other words, you lose more than space, you lose your life structure. Inside a nursing home, you start depending on help for everything, and dependence, once formed, becomes a habit. Tasks you once did confidently, cooking, bathing, walking outside, managing bills, now feel unfamiliar and overwhelming. You begin to feel unable, not just unassisted. And that's the most heartbreaking part. You don't just lose your previous life. You lose the ability to return to it. Many seniors later say, I thought I could come back home when I wanted, but now I don't know how. The world outside keeps moving, while the world inside freezes you into a role, a resident, not a person in transition. Which is why the regret hits hard. The move felt like a choice, but leaving becomes a struggle. So before deciding to move into a nursing home, don't just ask, is this the right place for me right now? Also ask, if I want my old life back later, will I still be able to live it? Because entering is easy, leaving means rebuilding, and not everyone gets the chance to start over. Once comfort replaces independence, freedom becomes harder to reclaim.